What happened with the Spokane shot? How did that situation? How do you think it happened? Why did it happen?
That's one of the sad stories in Spokane, I think, because that thing, when it was rolling, was something else.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was so much fun to do those games in the early days.
They were superstars.
It was those players were rock stars
yes.
in Spokane. And I mean, guys, even now, Raul Vigil has left town. He's living in the Tri-Cities, but if he were to come back for something, he would get a huge ovation, just because of what he did with the shot. Coach Shackelford still lives in town, and he's still a big deal from what he did, coaching the Shock. And it was just the ownership at the time, the initial ownership with Brady Nelson and those guys caught lightning in a bottle. I don't think they even dreamed that it would be as successful as it was. And there were things that happened, I think, behind the scenes that I'm not even aware of completely, that probably changed some things. I think they made a mistake letting Coach Shack go when they did. Rob Keefe did a great job. You can't argue about him. He led the team to a championship in their first year in the AFL, up from AF2. But I think that letting Coach Shack go hurt the team probably from a business sense more than anything else, because it's hard to imagine why you let a coach go when in his 3 years you've won a championship and was runner-up for another one, and it's almost constant sellouts, and you've got the best. In 2009, that was the best team in the league by far, and there was nobody.
For names, how are you so good at remembering people's out of town? Okay, I know Eastern because you have to say their names a lot, but what about out of town, like a Sacramento or a team that we just.
In football, it's just time. You just have to sit there, and then you've got their depth chart and you've got their stats, so you know who catches the ball, who runs the ball, who's tackling, defensively who's playing. So you just go through there, and I just sit there for hours, and I'll start with running backs. And number 2 is, Sacramento State. They were the last team that Eastern played. Their main running back was number 4, Cameron Scadaboo. So 4 is Scadaboo. Then their backup to him was number 9, Marcus Fulcher. And so I figured that out. And then I went to the 3rd guy on the list. It was Isaiah Tolliver. He was number 25. And so I'd get 4 running backs, and then I'd go through their receivers, and I'd get 6 or 8 guys, and I keep repeating, and then I'll look at numbers. Number 3, who's that? I'll see a 3. Okay, who's that? And if I can't fire back, 3 is so-and-so, then I got to figure out 3, because as soon as you see it, you've got to be able to pop up with a name.
Mm-hmm.
So if it doesn't do any good, if you say number 3 caught that pass, and because
nobody's
nobody's
number 3,
right.
Recently, if I could watch 162 baseball games, I look him dead in the face and said, "Of course." I could watch. Yeah, I could eat that much ice cream. You bet.
I swear, that's a good analogy. Yes.
The Mariners. I have a good friend in the College and Career Center, and I was just talking to her today, and she's feeling a little bit low because last night they lost to the Rangers and stuff like that. And it's just guys, come on. It's kind of like the Zags. They're gonna get real close, but they ain't gonna get no championship trophy.
Yeah, well, they're gonna make it to I think people think they're not gonna make it to the playoffs.
They can make it to the playoffs, but that could end in disappointment too.
Yeah, all he does is only one team wins.
Right? So it's okay. It's part of the process, and there could be something to learn. Julio's worth building around. There's been a handful of other guys that I thought we should have built around too, like Cattell Marte, Taiwan Walker, James Paxton, and I've been wrong on a lot of those guys. We held on to Felix Hernandez for a long time, but
Felix is goated though. Felix is
he brought some special memories there, right?
Yeah, even though they didn't win.
And 0 playoffs.
Yeah. That was partially though. I remember games where it would end 1-0.
Yeah.
And he would give up 1 run in the 5th inning, 7th inning, and
he
would go 8 strong, 9 strong innings and give up 1 run, and that was it.
He brought passion to Seattle in September, and a lot of times in September there wasn't no good baseball happening except for when Felix was pitching. And so I think I still remember the first baseball game I ever went to was in 1989 in San Diego when they were playing. It was the Giants were playing the Padres. Will Clark and Tony Gwynn had an epic batting championship race going, and I saw it in the middle of summer. I'll never forget. walking into that tunnel and seeing that many seats and that vibe. Just went back to Safeco this summer and saw a game with my 2 boys and my dad, and there's still that buzz and that electricity around Major League Baseball. And I think that, you know, even if, I don't know, that's something of just being in that environment, the smells and all that things is a positive thing. And I'll fight traffic and parking and all that stuff to sit in those in the stadium seats again. So it's something special about being there. Julio, my kids love him. He's got great energy. The thing that's a little bit hard is some of those guys that sometimes make mistakes. Robinson Cano was beloved in our household too, and
Robinson Cano was the chief of the second base. New stadium here in Spokane. What are your thoughts on it? And kind of like for the football, it was football and soccer and all of that.
It is good that at this point in time, I feel encouraged because it is a joint use facility that will be used for soccer as well as football. And I do think there is a need for high quality facilities in our community. I think there is a sharp and acute need for well-developed facilities in our community.
So they rated you the 248th best halfback coming out of high school. And in Washington, 31. Do you think that is accurate?
In some regards, yes, and in some regards, no. I think in the regard as far as skill sets and knowledge of the game and football IQ, if I was being completely honest with myself, that's probably correct. But as far as the skill set that you can coach, I feel like that put me in a much higher position than what those numbers say. But you know, I can't just basically just help with that. What do you think though?
2015, I'll say this: you can't find me 31 better players. I'm just gonna say, when I looked at it today, there was maybe Jalen Hicks out of Spokane. There was.
I don't know about that one.
But you gotta think he holds a whole bunch of records at Ferris and shit. Like he holds every rushing record. I'm not gonna say every rushing record, but he holds a whole bunch of receiving records. But I'm not saying that he was better. But I'm just saying
But you do that was plenty the year before rushing for more yards.
I agree, but you know they're real fantasy. We ain't even gonna get into that. Sharky's fucking this whole. I don't agree with. I did not agree with that, bro. I said off camera, bro. I told him this right off. Like, I think of you like in that like Bishop Shanky, like in that like like in that role coming out of like Spokane, bro. And like, when you were at Gonzaga?
Feel about people that are that you know aren't about that life, but rapping about things. Both know that they're.
Shit, bro. I think one day everybody's gonna have to. You're gonna have to prove yourself. If you're talking about that shit, you're gonna have to prove yourself. And the day that comes is when you're gonna be exposed. But I feel like some niggas, if they're not like that and they know they're not like that, just tell people it's for entertainment. You're just rapping. It's okay to just entertain. I'm just rapping. Like, you feel me? I'm just rapping. It's entertainment. Music is entertainment. You tell the people what they want to hear, or you can tell the people what you want them to hear. But yeah, one day, if you talking about that shit, somebody's gonna really want to see if you.
Yeah. How do you feel about all these rappers dying and like getting shot and everything right now?
That should be fucked up, bro. That should be fucked up. They say rapping is the worst dangerous job. The most dangerous job.
Bro, I be saying that all the time. It's the most dangerous job in the world, bro.
Like you got everything everybody want. You're rich as hell. You got all these diamonds on.
Mm-hmm.
You got bust down watches. You feel me? You got everything everybody want. And it's just, I don't know. It be fucked up, like Misfit shit, fucked up, Pop Smoke, all that shit. They be, Lil TYS from Sacramento?
Yeah. That would, yeah.
Slowby.
Slowby. Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be like, damn. But shit, everybody know what come with what we doing. Like, especially if you, most of the niggas was thugging. If you know you're like that shit, that's even more worse than just if you was rapping. Like a rapper who's not thugging, like fucking what's his name? Lil Tecca.
Yeah.
If they see him out, they still might get on him, even though he don't talk about nothing. He's just a rapper and he's rich and it's like a trophy. So if you're thugging on top of that, bro, and you got ops and shit in this motherfucker, bro, it makes it 10 times worse.
Mm-hmm. Should athletes be paid? Should college athletes be paid?
1,000%. I think they should.
1,000%. Okay, why?
1,000%. That shouldn't even be just from my perspective, right? I just feel like, and then especially like we talking about the high major dudes, right? Like if we talking about, you know, the Alabamas and the LSUs and the Ohio States, one big thing for me, especially when everything like this like was coming out, right, about the name, the image and likeness deals and everything like that, I just thought back to the Fab Five. But you ever watch that documentary?
Of course.
Of course you did, right? And then what really stuck out to me was when Jalen Rose, like, yeah, like I pulled up to the gas station or something, to like a team store, then they were selling my jersey, my number 5 jersey, right? Then they were making money off of me like that. But I'm trying to, right, like I'm worrying about like how soon I can fill up my tank, or like, oh yeah, well, what's going to be my dinner for the night, right? Like what can I afford and everything like that. Then I just feel like, right, like if they're already, like if they're capitalizing off of these athletes, that they should get compensated, right? Like in some way. That's just my personal opinion on it.
So you believe
Johan is a Euro. We were having a rough year, and so he played out one practice, and we were kind of beefing. We beefed a lot through that season, and then the next season we became best friends. But we beefed a lot, and Johan, I remember vividly, skates by our bench, stops right in front of me, looks at me, and goes, "You want to go, Robert Arver? Let's go!" Like it just, I give it to him every day. And I sit there, I'm like, "Oh yeah," like I was just like, "Oh, this is gonna happen." I just turned 18 at this time, so I'm just kind of like, "Oh, I can finally like, whatever." Drop it. He's 5'7", so I'm like, I know I'm gonna ragdoll him if I wanted to. Sit there and just held him there. He gets one punch, and I'm like, that was like a teddy bear hitting me, and I just kind of let it go. I just dropped it. But the reason why I remember that so vividly was because it was just his intensity on his face, and I caught him with one. And like the day after I saw it, and I was like, oh, that was bad. And I caught him with this one punch, and it wasn't like a hard one or anything. I just kind of when I grabbed onto him, I caught him. So you grab jerseys in a hockey fight. So I grabbed him and just caught him with this little rabbit punch, and it was just right here. And it wasn't a big black eye or anything, but I saw it and was like, oh, that's not bad. Cool.
A little stinger.
Yeah, a little stinger. But the best fight I was on the ice for.
Wherever you were sent, you were sent there to be yourself. So like, why would you go to a completely new place and be someone you're not, or be this robot? Like, I'm not. People don't want me to just knock on their door and be like, hey, today we have a message about, Jesus Christ. Can we come in and show you? I'd be like, oh, I look inside their house real quick, like, oh, you play basketball, or like you play hockey, or like you watch anime or something like that, because people want to speak to somebody who's going to relate to them on a real basis. If they can connect
one more thing real quick. I want your thoughts on the Pac-12. What's going on?
Well, I mean, anybody who says they know what's going on is probably lying.
Lied, yeah.
Inside the Pac-12, no. It's all speculation right now. It's sad, honestly. It's, if I'm going to be completely honest with you, I don't like the direction college athletics is headed. There's a lot of things going on all at the same time. And it's making it very, very clear that it's not about the athletes. It's about big money and profiting from it. I think it's always been the case, but it's never been more clear.
Mm-hmm.
The writing is on the wall now. It's like, look, this is about money, plain and simple. They may as well, I saw somebody make this remark, you just have a Fox division and an ESPN division, right? Fox broadcasts and ESPN broadcasts. They're paying billions of dollars for this product, and rightfully so, they expect a lot. But now teams are scrambling and making sure they're not going to be left out. It's sad to me because I feel like a solution could have been made, because I worry about Washington State.
Yeah, why is Washington State not